You know, you tap, you swipe, you click on them hundreds of times a day. But have you ever stopped to wonder what makes a great user interface, well, great? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on UI design and demystify the hidden logic behind the screens you use every single day. So let's just get this out of the way. When you hear UI design, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably something like this, right? Picking some nice colors, choosing a cool font, basically just making things look pretty. But is that really all there is to it? The short answer? Oh, not even close. I mean, sure, looking good is definitely part of the job, but the real goal of UI is to create an experience that feels completely effortless. It's about clarity, it's about usability, and maybe the most important thing of all, it's about building trust with the person on the other side of that screen. And that leads us right into our first big idea. UI design is a discipline that goes so much deeper than just surface-level decoration. So let's peel back that first layer and see what's really going on underneath. Okay, let's be super clear here. Good UI, it's not art. It isn't just decoration, and it is definitely not based on some random guesswork or, just what the designer personally likes. Every single choice, from the shape of a button to the tiny bit of space between lines of text, is intentional. It's all a series of calculated decisions designed to help you, the user, get something done, not to show off how creative the designer is. All right, let's tackle the biggest point of confusion in the entire design world, the whole UI versus UX thing. You hear these terms thrown around all the time, sometimes like they mean the same thing, but they are fundamentally different. I promise, we're about to make that distinction crystal clear. Okay, think of it like building a house. UX, that's user experience, is the architect. They're the ones with the blueprint. They're figuring out the core problem, like how many rooms do we need, how should they all connect so the house flows nicely. But UI, that's the interior designer. They're the ones who bring that blueprint to life. They're choosing the paint colors, the light fixtures, deciding exactly where the light switches go so you can find them in the dark. The UI makes the architect's plan visible, usable, and, well, livable. Really, it all boils down to this one simple but really powerful idea. UX decides what the product should do, UI decides how it looks and feels while you're doing it, and you absolutely cannot have one succeed without the other. They're a team. So now that we kind of have a handle on what UI is, let's try to step into the shoes of a designer. How do they actually think? It's a very specific, very visual way of solving problems, and it all kicks off with one fundamental question. See, at its heart, UI design is all about guiding your attention. A designer is constantly asking, okay, what is the absolute first thing a user needs to see here? And after they've seen that, where does their eye need to go next? It's all about creating a clear, obvious path for you to follow without even thinking about it. Now, this whole practice of guiding the eye, it has a name. It's called visual hierarchy. It's just a fancy term for how designers use visual cues to tell your brain what's most important, what's secondary, and how everything on the screen relates to each other, all in a split second. I mean, think about any news website you've ever visited. The headline is always the biggest, boldest thing on the page, right? Well, that's hierarchy in action. And these are the tools they use to pull it off. This is the designer's secret toolkit for creating that hierarchy. Making a button bigger or a headline bolder or giving an important piece of info just a little more breathing room around it. These aren't random choices. They are deliberate decisions all designed to control your focus and make an interface feel totally intuitive. But here's the thing. Great UI isn't just about designing one perfect, beautiful screen. The real pros, they think much, much bigger. They think in systems. A design system is basically a master library for an entire product. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like an official set of Lego bricks. It's the single source of truth that has all the pre-approved building blocks, your colors, your fonts, reusable things like buttons, and, crucially, a rulebook that says exactly how to use them all together. So why does this matter so much? Because systems create consistency. And when every single button and every single headline looks and behaves the exact same way across an entire app, it becomes predictable. And that predictability, well, that makes the product feel reliable, it helps teams work way faster, and ultimately, that's what builds that deep sense of trust with a user. Okay, so we have covered a lot of ground. But if you remember just one thing from all of this, please, let it be this next point. This is it. This is the whole secret. The best user interfaces are invisible. They are so intuitive, so clear, so completely effortless that you don't even notice them. You just use them. The design gets out of your way so you can get your thing done without any friction or confusion. So I'm going to leave you with a little challenge. The next time you're using an app and it just feels right, it's simple, it's fast, it's just easy, I want you to pause for a second. Look a little closer and ask yourself, what are the hundreds, maybe thousands of invisible design decisions that all had to come together perfectly to create this feeling of effortlessness? Because the answer is great UI design. Thanks for joining me for this explain.
Like, share, and subscribe.